Hello. I was just thinking this morning about this big pig rescue we're doing, and I realized that we haven't really been updating anybody about it, just from Lighthouse's perspective. And so I thought if anybody deserves to know, it's people who support us on Patreon. So I just wanted to take a second to just chat with you, give you an update, let you know what's going on so you can kind of know what we're up to and why we're a little silent on social media because we're so busy. This is Hefe. He's gonna join us today. So anyways, most of you probably already know that we worked on a giant pig rescue. It was a hoarding / neglect situation in St. Helens, Oregon, and there are roughly 200 pigs on the property. None of them had been spayed or neutered, so they were just basically, breeding incessantly. They didn't have access to clean water, they didn't have access to shelter, they had no medical care. It was pretty horrible. So we had to get the pigs out of that situation pretty quickly, and because we didn't really have a place for them to go, we looked. We needed them to stay within Oregon State because of transport laws across state lines. We have very little time to figure out how to get them all off and get them to a space where we could spay, neuter, give them health checks, make sure that they were healthy, and then work on rehoming them. So without the possibility of them going anywhere else, Lighthouse decided that we would temporarily house them on our sanctuary. We have 54 acres. We had about a 3-acre parcel that we weren't using, and so we fenced it up over one day, put up a ton of temporary structures, and over one weekend we brought 200 pigs to our sanctuary. It's been absolutely nuts. We, as you know, already have 300 animals of our own that we're caring for, and so now that brings the total to over 500. We are getting volunteers to help us during the day to help with the pigs, but we're not getting enough volunteers. So basically, we are an all-volunteer organization. We don't have paid staff, so we are just absolutely burnt out. When we brought the pigs to the property, basically overnight we had 6 different pigs give birth, and so we had 47 babies born pretty quickly after arrival, so that shot our numbers up quite a bit. And we've been working on getting them neutered, which is like it's a huge production. We have to build chutes. Our vet, who's amazing, comes out and performs the neuters for us, but it is, it's super hot here right now. We've been having, a couple of days in the 90s. Right now it's like in the high 80s. So it's just round the clock, keeping people cool, making sure that they have access to shade. And then when we do the neuters, we have to have a recovery area set up for them. We have to make sure that they stay cool while they're recovering. And thus far, we've only been able to adopt a handful of pigs out. So we've adopted, I think we're at 16 pigs now, which is great, but it's it's definitely not enough. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little panicky. That's Gracie back there. I'm a little panicked just because we don't have the facilities, we don't have the resources to care for 200 pigs long term. I mean, that is just an enormous task, and we just don't, I'm completely truthful, we don't have infrastructure for them, we don't have enough volunteers to help care for them, we certainly don't have the funds to care for them, because that many pigs, we're spending about $5,000 to $6,000 a month on feed. Luckily we are partnering with a couple of other organizations, and so we're fundraising. The fundraising is definitely slowed down, so we're able to cover the neuters, we're able to cover the food for right now, but we're getting into trying to get the pigs spayed, and that's going to be even more expensive because spays are just, they're more complicated, so they cost more money, and we can't do them on site because they need to be in a more sort of sanitary environment, so we have to physically take them somewhere, and it's just crazy. It's nuts. This is the biggest rescue that I have ever participated in, and basically, all of our summer projects that we set aside to prepare for winter, like laying down gravel, making sure that we have all of our trenches dug for when it starts raining. We have a hospital barn that we were going to build. All of this stuff. And you know, we have our own residents at the sanctuary that require care, and just coming up with the time to make sure that we're, you know, spending enough time with them and making sure that they're okay. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. So I just, you know, I needed to tell somebody. We have been really sort of anxious about publicly saying anything about the pigs being on our property, because we were worried that if people knew that the pigs were at a sanctuary, they would be less likely to adopt or help, because they would think, oh, they're at a sanctuary, this is great. But the reality is that this is just temporary, and we need so much help. We need volunteers. So if you're in the area and you want to come hang out with some amazing pigs, we would love to have you. We certainly need donations, and Lighthouse will be we were initially thinking 10 of these pigs. It's looking like it's going to be a little bit more, 20 probably when all is said and done, if we can get everybody rehomed. But because we've been spending so much time on this rescue, I have not had the time to do any sort of updates. I'm not present on social media as much as I like to, and anybody who runs an operation like this knows that that's so important, that you're constantly updating people and posting pictures and all of that, and I just haven't had the time. So our personal finances, our personal donations have gone down a lot since we started doing this rescue, and so we definitely need more support in that regard as well. So that's basically it. I really just wanted to maybe vent a little bit and let you all know what's going on, because you have stuck with us and you offer us your monthly support, and we're so grateful for every single one of you. And I will continue to keep you updated and let you know. And I was thinking maybe shortly, in maybe a few days, when maybe it's not so hot, I go over there with the pigs and introduce you to some of them, just so you can, you know, see the mayhem up close. Anyways, thank you again so much for your support, and I'll keep in touch. Bye.